Please settle down. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to the Karnataka Roundtable. The one narrative right through this roundtable you will find, particularly when you interview politicians, is that of corruption. We are told that one government is 10% commission, the other is called 40% commission. Either way, the truth of Karnataka is corruption has been an unfortunate reality in the politics of the state, which is why we thought that who better than Justice B.S.Patil, the Lokayukt of Karnataka, the anti-corruption watchdog, to tell us what the reality on the ground is. Appreciate your joining us, Justice Patil, here on the India Today Roundtable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me start with that. You know, there is a general sense among citizens that corruption has eaten into the system in states like Karnataka, this commission Raj. As the Lokayukta, do you agree, do you share the concern, the anger, the frustration, the desperation of the citizens of Karnataka when it comes to growing corruption in the state, irrespective of which party is in power?
Certainly, the corruption as a menace in the society has enormously pervaded different parts of the fabric of the society, the polity, the administration, the governance. That is largely that is one of the reasons why the developments as expected have not happened, and there is indeed a retardation of the developmental activities because of the large-scale corruption.
So the Karnataka Lokayukta is accepting that there is large-scale corruption.
There is absolutely no doubt about it. It is not Karnataka only. It is all over the country, and it is recognized and lamented by the Honorable Supreme Court in a number of cases that corruption has corroded like a cancer of lymph nodes of the nerves of the polity, of the society. It has eaten into the efficiency of the administration. It has disheartened the honest officers. It is not as if all officers are corrupt. All administrative machinery is corrupt. There are honest officers. But the corrupt officers have demoralized the whole system. Therefore, it is essential that corruption is fought at an institutional level, at different levels, right from the top till the end.
Those are very strong words, and you're saying that corruption is a cancer. I just want to understand, is it the officials or is it the political masters who are at the top of this corruption pyramid? Where does it start? Who is responsible? How do you break this sort of, to sort of find a cure? Is it first to tackle political corruption or bureaucratic corruption, or both?
No, under the provisions of the Act, both Karnataka Lokayukta Act and the Prevention of Corruption Act, wherever the corruption takes place, whenever the complaint comes, whoever may be the person indulging in corrupt activities, unhesitatingly, the institution should march ahead, take action. Even if it is the topmost person in the state, there shall not be any hesitation in taking action. So that is the mantra. And it can happen only then you can really fight truthfully, honestly, the corruption as a menace, as a cancer.
Suo motu action or on a citizen's complaint?
Yeah, so far as the Act makes a slight distinction here. So far as the elected representatives are concerned, there is no power to take suo motu action. But insofar as officials are concerned, other government officials and public servants are concerned, there is provision to take suo motu action. And we have indeed initiated in number of cases suo motu actions.
The reason I'm asking you this, sir, is because only last month, the Karnataka Lokayukta was making the headlines. You raided the office first of a BJP MLA, Madal Virupakshapa, his son. Crores of rupees were found there. Then you raided the residence of the MLA, and eventually both of them were arrested. But Mr. Virupakshapa is now out on bail. Are we to believe that what happened with Mr. Virupakshapa and his son with the crores of rupees that were found in their residence cum office are an exception or a rule? You acted presumably there on a complaint,
Yeah.
but is it an exception or a rule that such large quantities of cash are available in the houses and offices of our MLAs in Karnataka? What is your sense?
No, I can't make a general statement like that, because only when a complaint comes, only when preliminary facts are placed before us, only when prima facie case is made out, our machinery is set in motion. Two complainants came, they gave complaint, we deliberated on it couple of days and asked them to provide proper material, the foundational material. Then we decided to raid and search. And we registered a case under the Prevention of Corruption Act, and that is the only power under the Act, Prevention of Corruption Act, we can arrest. Under the Lokayukta Act, we can search and seize, but not arrest. But that was a case under the Prevention of Corruption Act, and we raided and we arrested. As regards whether it is all pervasive, whether all representatives, elected representatives, regardless of political affiliations are like that, I cannot make a statement like that. It will not be fair to make a statement like that, because in every field there are honest people. In every field there are dedicated, committed people. And same time in every field, the cancer is spreading, unfortunately.
But Mr. Virupakshapa, as I said, is now out on bail. He in fact was hoping for a ticket, was denied it, went back to his constituency where he was given a hero's welcome. I mean, what's the, when you see those images, here is someone who's been caught with large amounts of cash in his house, goes back and gets a hero's welcome, had actually gone in hiding for a few days. I come back to it. You believe this is the exception or the rule?
No, this is where you have posed a very right question, the perception of the people and their attitude towards corruption and corrupt people. It should pain us. It should shock us to such an extent that we should rebel against it. Instead, if you want to celebrate that, if you want to give a hero's welcome to people like that, then it will send a very wrong message to the common man that even when a person is guilty of corruption, is caught with so much of money, you will, for his bail, you will celebrate it, you will give him a hero's welcome. So that is a very, very bad trend, and that should not have been done. That should not be done.
Because when you say rebel, Justice Patil, I want to understand there are a number of citizens, and I know Bengaluru in particular is full of very conscientious citizens who are always lamenting about corruption, whether it is the quality of the roads, whether it's potholes, your BBMP in particular is highly corrupt. Are you telling them, when you say rebel, come out, give specific complaints, and the Karnataka Lokayukta will act on them?
Definitely. That is my invitation. I have been doing that. I am telling the Bangaloreans, I am telling the Kannadigas, Karnataka citizens, not only about these kinds of corruption, other maladministration. We have powers under the Karnataka Lokayukta Act. Any maladministration. What is maladministration? Maladministration is any negligent act on the part of the official concerned, public servant. Any unreasonable delay on his part in attending to the work which he is assigned. Any nepotism, favoritism, any substandard work in discharge of his work as an engineer or any other officer. Hospitals, we have raided, we have inspected about 40 hospitals in Bangalore, government hospitals. And most of them, I have myself inspected Victoria Hospital, and our registrar, our additional registrars, judicial officers along with police have inspected different hospitals and found a very lamenting situation there. Either doctors are not present or required infrastructure is not provided, medicine distribution there is problem. So we have recommended to the government, we have made the secretaries as parties, and some of them have been addressed in such a way. I will tell one example. In Bagalkot district, Honugund and Ilkal, I inspected government hospitals. One hospital was a 30-bedded maternity hospital, exclusively maternity cases, 30-bedded maternity hospital. For the last 1 year, from the data inspected, preceding year, not even one delivery had taken place there. Poor people gathered there. When I was there, they came, they shouted, and they cried, saying that, how can we take pregnant women from our families to government, other hospitals? 50,000 minimum we have to spend for delivery. And if it is a case of cesarean, then maybe 1 lakh. And what is this government hospital meant for? I found that not one gynecologist was not there, not even one person who can conduct surgery. So for the last 1 year, it was not even one delivery had taken place. I registered the case. I made the health secretary as a party, the district surgeon as a party, and now in Bagalkot district, I visited Bagalkot. This was the first thing on my agenda. In Bagalkot districts, many primary health centers, hospitals, government hospitals, they are now well equipped. There are doctors and patients are happy. And a report, to that extent I have received a report. So this is one example I am giving. And 43 sub-registrars offices in Bangalore. There are 43 sub-registrars in Bangalore, urban and rural. Single day, with all our might, we made a surprise visit and we found so many deficiencies. The third parties, middlemen, having their chair and sitting there as if they are public servants. They are the persons who take the papers and get it registered. A handicapped person was sitting there since morning and her case was not attended. Her registration was not taking place. Whereas the middleman who is bringing dozens of documents, his case is over in 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So our officers found it, caught them. And we have registered cases, given recommendations. Government has come up with government orders that third parties should not enter there. So reforms are taking place. Our intervention is making all the difference. So
that's good to hear, because you've got a lot of, as I said, conscientious Bangalore citizens, the Bangalore task force members, all of whom want to have a better city. I mean, are you telling each one of them that if they have specific complaints, please come to my office, or will you be overwhelmed with such complaints?
Let me get overwhelmed with those complaints. We have our staff crunch, serious crunch, everything is there, but we are prepared to work. We are prepared to work day in, day out. I am working till 9 o'clock. I work up to 6 o'clock in my office. I go home, my staff will come there. 2-3 hours I work again. There again 50-60 files I clear. Here about 150-200 files I clear. And
so nobody, you're not short of officers.
I am short of officers. We have 1,668 sanctioned strength. But we are about 600 short. And after the abolition of ACB, about 330 staff have been given to us. That is half of what the ACB had.
But you are still 660 short.
We are still 660 short, and I have constituted a committee, depending on the inflow of the complaints, which has enormously increased now. We have constituted a committee to come up with fixation of strength in each section.
Because, as I said, this image has gone up of Karnataka, rather negative image, particularly of its politics of Commission Raj. November 2021, contractors' body wrote to Prime Minister Modi, complained of corruption. April 12, 2022, contractor Santosh Patil, who accused Minister Ishwarappa, was found dead. April 2022, Contractors Association alleged 40% commission sought for tenders. April 2022, Lingayat seer alleged must pay 30% commission to get grants. August 2022, School Management Association alleged corruption, wrote again to Prime Minister Modi. January 2023, contractor Manjunath alleged he paid 90 lakh bribe to a BJP MLA, Thippa Reddy. The general impression is in Karnataka only cash works and commission works. Therefore, how do you, that's why I asked you, is it an exception or a rule? What you did with Virupakshapa, is it an exception or a rule? All these contractors, shouldn't they be coming to you?
Certainly they should come to us. They should not stop at giving a statement in the press. They should not stop at making some noise elsewhere, or just write to the Prime Minister and keep quiet. They should come to a body like Lokayukta, make a complaint in proper form with specific details. Otherwise, what happens? Somebody has read the news, and a third party, without knowing any facts, he writes one letter to us saying, investigate this. The contractor who is affected is not coming. The contractor's representative is not coming. He is not producing the tender notifications, work orders. Who is that person who demanded? How much was paid or refused? All that particular details, unless these details are there, even if I start an investigation, it will not have any direction. It will not end up in any concrete result.
You're saying, please give me specific instances. If, for example, because every time I come to Bengaluru, they complain about civic infrastructure crumbling. If in a specific road, street, area, you know that someone has perhaps manipulated a tender, done substandard work as a result, you're saying, please provide me the bare details with some specifics, and then we will take it from there. Am I correct?
Please. This is what I have been asserting. This is the statement I have been repeatedly making. And whichever district, I have visited 23 districts so far. Our Upalokayukta, Honorable Justice Panindra, has visited 9 districts. We have decided cases in districts also. First thing we do is have the officers meeting, convey to them the demand of the institution, what I demand from them, what the Act demands, what the Act provides for, how I will be in a position to take action if they don't follow the provisions of the Act. Then I have surveyed the city, waste discharge, complaints regarding waste discharge, road, drainage. Cases have been registered so moto. Even if people do not come forward, I have registered cases. Drinking water problem. The other day, just 2 days back, I have registered one case where in Sandur village, Sandur town, Bellary district, a stream passes and it passes through villages covering about 50,000 people, and the drainage water in the Sandur town is joining this stream, and the stream provides drinking water to the villagers. Hundreds of people fall sick. They did not know why earlier. And our officers, we have made a 26-point program, a circular after I became Lokayukta. I have issued a consolidated circular assigning duties and functions of each officer, mandatory duties and functions, out of which one of them is to visit the talukas, giving 5 days notice in advance, publication in 3 daily newspapers, and then go visit, secure complaints from people. Tatkal, if the complaint can be addressed, call the Tahsildar, call the PDO, call the executive officer and attend to it. If it cannot be, register the case online, send it to the head office. One such complaint was with regard to this drinking water. When our officers investigated, hundreds of people in different villages suffered from loose motion, diarrhea and this vomiting and all. The root cause was contamination of the water. And that water was tested. The report came 2 days back. I have issued an order. I have impleaded the secretaries of different departments because it is they who have to fix up the responsibility and attend to this problem. So therefore, not necessary that you need to come with a problem. Even if you highlight the problems in a detailed way, as a public oriented citizen, we can receive it and start a suo motu proceeding. But details must be there. It should not be vague. Take action against corruption in the tender process against the Karnataka government. What action can be taken? When, how, where? Because it is a matter where, under the Prevention of Corruption Act, an offence, ingredients of offence have to be made out. Otherwise, High Court will quash it.
No, the reason I'm asking you this, because in the early 2000s, one of your predecessors, Santosh Hegde, earned a huge reputation because he took on the mining lobbies. Eventually resulted in the fall of a government, of Mr. Yediyurappa's government at the time, of the Reddy brothers being exposed at the time. Has the time come now to scale it up? Don't catch some low-level official. Time to put some ministers and some top politicians behind bars. Only then will people be convinced that you are actually going to act. I know that it's not within your powers to arrest them, but you can do enough to perhaps at least scare them, put the fear of law or fear of the Lokayuk like Justice Hegde did.
No, that the example that you have given is that is a kind of legacy that the Karnataka Lokayukta has got, and people are proud of such functionaries, and it is possible with the cooperation of the people to fight this at a higher level. Even at higher levels, people can experience this, the scare in their approach, desist from entering into any corrupt practice, whether he's a chief minister, MLA. Question of sparing anybody doesn't arise. Everybody is equal in the eye of law. And if complaint comes like that, and if there are grounds, ingredients are made out, why not proceed against them? Whoever he is.
You're saying the Ayukta can put the fear into a chief minister or minister that they could be caught one day, that they could also become the next Virupakshapa?
No,
are you saying that?
Not put the fear in their mind. Put the straight facts in their mind that even if he is a very high functionary like chief minister or a minister, if he indulges in corrupt activities, law will not spare, and the institution, the Lokayukta institution, will not spare any one of them.
Those are good, fine words. I hope that those are actually implemented. They will restore a lot of confidence in the system. But my colleague Sagai Raj had a question for you, sir. Go ahead.
Sir, as we speak now, Karnataka High Court has granted bail to Prashant Virupaksha, a conditional bail today, sir. So he'll be coming out. How do you see, despite catching him red-handed in his office, accepting the bribe, don't you think that there are very less stringent law in the country to tackle these kind of cases?
No, everyone is required to discharge his part of the duty. As prosecutors, investigators, they will discharge their part of the duty. As judges, the Honorable High Court will discharge its functions and duties. They are balancing liberty of the citizen with the social need. We are proceeding on, as I said, cancerous growth of this, and we are proceeding on the pain and shock that we experience. But the courts not only have to absorb the pain and shock, they have to also balance it with liberty, the need, and a given set of facts and circumstances. So it is for the court in its discretion. And the courts will not normally allow a person to languish in jail for months together, years together. If investigation is completed, then court will perhaps persuade itself to enlarge him in jail on enlarge him on bail on certain conditions. I do not want to comment on what has happened in this case. But how the court was convinced about it, it is not my province. We have to give deference to the verdict of the courts. We believe in rule of law. We do our job. The courts will do their job.
But while you say that you all are serious about a crackdown on corruption, which you admit to being a cancer, how confident are you that your institution itself is not riddled with corruption? A previous Lok Ayukta found himself in a very difficult situation. His son was found taking a bribe. Therefore, there are fears that can the Lok Ayukta actually take on the big fish? Is it really an institution of integrity itself? Can you guarantee that these officers who work under you will not be bribed by some group or the other?
Yeah, very realistic question. Every day I am confronted with this question. Every day we receive complaints also about our own officers working in different districts. Some of them are found to be false. Some of them cannot be found to be true or false. And some of them may be true. But what we have done, what honest efforts we have done in insulating this institution from the very menace that we are required to fight is, when we are taking police officers, we have made a committee. They have to give a checklist of their service, past service, the medals that they have won, the exceptional service that they have rendered, no disciplinary inquiry pending against them, not at least a corruption charge. So all these things are scanned, and his reputation is otherwise checked, and he is taken. That is one. Second is, this is followed up by our constant effort to elevate their performance, to ensure integrity, insulate them from the past inheritance that they have in there. Because they are also force, they all come from a different original source is same. Therefore, they are wedded to a principle of integrity and honesty, and how they have to be different, because if I am a...
So, it almost seems as if the cancer, sir, is spreading so rapidly that checking it is going to become more and more difficult with time.
True. We have to fight it. And only because it is a cancer, you can't give it up.
Because I think there was a fellow judge who said recently that he was scared, admitted in court that he was under pressure, not to take action.
That's what I'm saying. What we are doing to insulate our institution from the otherwise ills that the administration is being afflicted with is the training programs, ensuring that the family of Lok Ayukta holds together, works for the betterment of the society. We come clean in our endeavors, in our exercise. So therefore, the other day we had a training program. A very eminent person from London and some persons from Ahmedabad and all, they joined together, and I selected about 23 officers, top officers. That is really a leadership program, a program where you make a difference in connecting with your people, listening, conversation, enrolling people. So this elevates our thinking.
Sure. Because, you had a deputy commissioner arrested in a bribery case, an ADGP rank officer held in a police recruitment scam, a high court judge, Justice H.P. Sandesh, claiming threats while hearing corruption cases. In conclusion, I want you to tell us, how do you reconcile this? The Prime Minister says, na khaunga, na khane dunga. Every chief minister says the moment they come to power, I am going to crack down on corruption. The truth, sir, is people khate hai, and many people allow this khane dunga also to take place. You agree?
Yeah.
You're smiling, which means you agree.
No, that's right. See, what has to be agreed has to be agreed. What has to be disagreed has to be disagreed. The general perception is, and when I opened my conversation, it is growing like cancer. And there are people who are eating, there are people who are fasting. People who fast and work for the nation. people who eat and get into indigestion and get into so many complications. So therefore, you can't deny both facets are there.
So as we end, I just want to ask you, are you hopeful or are you cynical? You know, we can be cynical and say that, you know, now that it's a cancer, this is a cancer without cure, or we can be hopeful and say, look, if we have fine officers and strong institutions and strong anti-corruption watchdogs, then we can actually get the system to change. Because in the past, we've seen governments in Karnataka in particular have undermined at times the authority of the Lok Ayukta, not given it the independence. Have you been ever rung up by chief ministers or ministers saying, Justice Patil, please don't act against this person, wo mera aadmi hai?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Not one
Nobody
instance.
can dare to call us and don't do this, do this. Absolutely not. If we are talking, if anybody has spoken to me, I don't think anybody has spoken to me. I have only spoken to the chief secretary, the secretaries. My registrar has spoken. I have also not spoken. I have called them and had a meeting. When infrastructure is not provided, we want this infrastructure. This has to be legitimately given to us. You give it to us.
You've
This
never
is
been
what-
threatened.
Absolutely not. Where is the
Nobody
question
has
of
threatened you.
No, not at all. Not at all. If at all anybody can threaten, only you can threaten perhaps.
You meaning the media.
Yeah, because public opinion, that is what I'm saying.
Right. So
Public opinion can be a threat to anybody. Not a threat for insecurity purpose, but for the good of the nation. Public should threaten the institutions that we are after you, we are watching you, we are watching your performance. And you should also stand behind those people who are working for the betterment of the society.
So
Even in adversarials, during adversary.
So you're essentially calling out from the stage of this Karnataka Roundtable to the citizens of Karnataka to wake up, in a way, rebel, as you use the word, and take, you know, be active citizens who are ready to file complaints to the Karnataka Lok Ayukta. Simply hand-wringing won't work. You're calling for action, a call for action to all the citizens of Karnataka. Am I correct?
You are absolutely correct. I will just add one more sentence to it out of my experience. You file complaint, even if you give all the details, tomorrow when we file charge sheet to the court, go and testify there. Don't go away. Don't go and say, no, he has not demanded anything from me. You will not, before the court, you will turn hostile. What he will do as a witness? No, he did not demand me. I myself gave some money because I owed some money to him. He will go and say that, then that results in his acquittal.
You will provide protection?
Definitely. See, one of the training facets of our training to the officers is, if a person gives money for getting a work done, and if he is trapped and his work is not done, first ensure that the work is done. You arrest him, ensure that the work is done, ensure that that witness is protected, is counseled, and whatever be the problem he faces, let him come to the concerned investigating officer, his higher officers, or even to the Lok Ayukta. We are there to give protection to him. So this is what is important, and that can help the witnesses to tell the truth before the court, and the court will then be armed with facts and circumstances to convict. Merely saying that only conviction is only 30%, less than 25%, whereas in America it is for 90%, 95%, will not help. Why the conviction rate is less? Not just because of the investigation flaws. There may be some technical flaws in the investigation which may also land up in a decreased rate of conviction. But the most of it, majority of it is because the person who sets the law in motion and the persons who support him back out. Back out because the same reasons for which that fellow is arrested many times. Or, as he said, because of threat.
Okay. Justice Patil, you've been very candid, and I think it's wonderful to have a Karnataka Lok Ayukta come on a platform like this and speak so openly. I think it restores some element of confidence that the citizenry should have, and gives us some hope that things can change. I appreciate, therefore, you joining us, sir. And let's hope, as they say, fir subah hogi. There will be a new dawn in this wonderful state of Karnataka. So thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Thank you, Justice Patil. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.